Hi, Cubs. Cubmaster Patrick here from Pack 495, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about the Cub Scout Six Essentials. So the Cub Scout Six Essentials are 6 items we need to make sure that we bring on any hike or outing or camping trip or times that we go out where we might not be at our house for a while. And these are items that help us stay prepared for what we might face during the day. So the first thing that we need to have, and this really isn't one of the 6 essentials yet, is we need to make sure we have a way to help carry all of the things. So unless you want to put them all in your pockets, get kind of bulky. But the first thing we want to make sure we have is some sort of bag or backpack that you can hold everything in. So as we start talking about the 6 essentials, let's start talking with essential number 1. And essential number 1 is making sure that we have water. Water is something that we can drink over the course of our hike or outing. And we want to make sure that before we leave the house or wherever we start from, maybe it's a ranger shack or something else, that we filled our water bottle up with water so that way we're not out on the trail without water. Because water is something you need to drink all the way through your hike to make sure that you're staying well and hydrated. So one of the reasons why we like backpacks like this is that this one has a straw that connects to a water bottle that's stored inside the backpack, so that when you have your backpack, you have your water bottle. I've got a lot of things in my backpack, so what I like to do is I like to use a reusable water bottle. And to show my scout spirit, I like to make sure I decorate mine with stickers from all of the cool scouting places I've been and the things that I do. So Cub Scout Essential number 2. The 13th point of the Scout Law, it's kind of unofficial, but they say a scout is hungry. So part number 2, or essential number 2, is food or a snack. You might want to have more than one of these, because it may be one of those things where the group that you're going with has a planned stop in the middle, and you want to make sure you've got a snack to keep you going through your hike. But you always want to make sure that you have something a little extra, just in case your hike goes longer than you think of, or maybe you get lost and you have to feed yourself again during that time. Make sure that it's something that you like to eat and is going to be good for you as well. On to Cub Scout Essential number 3. So sometimes we start in the early morning, or sometimes our hike goes into the late evening. And in the early morning or the late evening, it starts to get dark. And if we get stuck out on the trail, maybe it's a little bit hard to see the way we go. And so we always want to make sure that we have a flashlight. This can be a little flashlight, a big flashlight. Some people like to have headlamps on, so that way they can walk without holding the flashlight, and the flashlight just kind of looks wherever you're looking. So I like to use headlamps, but you always want to make sure you have a flashlight. And before you go onto your adventure, you want to make sure that you take a minute to make sure that flashlight still has batteries and works, because a flashlight's no good if you get out and you find out that it's dark and then your flashlight's batteries are no good. One of the things we will learn as scouts is we always want to make sure that we're prepared. So Cub Scout Essential number 4 that we're going to talk about is a whistle. We use a whistle when we need to alert somebody, typically that we're lost or that we're trying to find someone. So these are not toys to be blown when we're out in the woods. These are tools, so that way if we're tired and lost, we can blow this instead of yelling. Because when we yell, we tend to lose our voices, and then we get more and more tired. And if you get lost for a while, you may lose your voice, and then you can't call out to people who might be trying to help you. A whistle will be nice and loud as long as you can breathe. So you always want to make sure you have a whistle in the event that you get lost. Now, we hope you never get lost, but we know we're going to be prepared. Something that's more likely to happen, and so this goes to Cub Scout Essential number 5, is that someone might get a little hurt on our hike or an adventure. So we always want to make sure that we carry a first aid kit. Now, we know that we want to make sure we know before we go, we know that the trail is the right one for us to go on. So we're going to be making sure that we're on the right trail for us. But sometimes we might fall down or we might get cut. You know, there are things that happen out in nature. We want to make sure that we're ready for it. So in your first aid kit, you want to make sure you have your basics. You want to make sure that you have some Band-Aids and maybe some gauze, scissors to cut the gauze or some tape with. You want to make sure you have some Neosporin and maybe an antiseptic or a cleaning wipe. And the other thing you want to make sure of, and this is really important when we're talking about germs, is you might want to have a rubber glove or a latex or a non-latex glove to make sure you're not spreading germs if you're doing any first aid. Sixth Cub Essential is we know that sometimes when we go outside, it's hot or it's sunny, and the sun's going to be beating down on us, and we want to make sure that we're not getting burned because 1, it's uncomfortable, and 2, it's really bad for our skin. So we want to make sure that we have sun protection. Now, sun protection comes in a lot of different forms. You can use suntan lotion, and suntan lotion, you can find the ones that spray on, or you can find the ones that you wipe on. You just some lotion and you wipe that on. And both of those will help make sure that you get it well covered over your skin, and you have to make sure you reapply that when it's ready. But that will help keep you from getting burned. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you wear clothing which is appropriate. You can wear long sleeve shirts. I always wear my long sleeve shirt with my sleeves rolled up, so that way I'm ready to work and have fun. But if it's sunny out, I might be able to turn my sleeves back down, or if it gets cold, and it helps protect my arms from getting too much sun. But the other thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to protect our head. So one of the other alternative ways of getting sun protection is making sure that you have a nice hat. And I like making sure that I have a nice scout hat. So I can wear one of my favorite scout hats. This helps keep the sun off of my eyes. The only thing though is it doesn't do much to protect my ears. My ears kind of stick out there pretty far. So I want to make sure those don't get burned. And so what some people do is they'll say they use a wide-brimmed hat. And Baden Powell, the founder of Scouting, liked to make sure that he had a campaign hat on. And the campaign hat had a nice wide brim on, so that way it helped keep the sun off of your ears and off the back of your neck and also off your face. And it looks just really cool. So with that, we've gone over the 6 Cub Scout Essentials. So what we've learned about are making sure that we have a bag that we can carry everything in, so that way it's nice and easy for us to carry. And we want to make sure that we have a water bottle, we have food, we have a flashlight, we have our whistle, we have our first aid kit, and we have our sun protection. And those are our Cub Scout 6 Essentials. Thanks for tuning in. I can't wait to talk to you again soon.